Hi, welcome to RoboFlow Quickies. I am Peter van der Poelen and I'm gonna talk about installing RoboFlow on the server, file server, RoboFlow server, Cumulus server, or on any computer in the network. The challenge is very often that the volume where the files are stored, and we're talking about Macintosh environment, Apple, the volume is not always mounted in the same way. That means, for instance, I'm now here on a server, and on this server I have via fiber a RAID connected. You can see this. I have my, if I'm looking in volumes, I have a RAID, and in that RAID I have, for instance, a subfolder called traffic, and that subfolder traffic is actually visible on the client computers as a volume, which means that on the client computers this is called /volumes/traffic. Now RoboFlow is installed on the server, and that means that if it's running on this particular server, you will now have the problem that if you catalog files and you go to your client computer and you do show location, you will get the error message that he cannot find the file. That is because for him the file is in RAID traffic, as we saw in the terminal, while on his client computer that will be just traffic, or in the Unix kind of way, /volumes/traffic. The best way of installing RoboFlow is installing it on a separate computer where you mount the volume in the same way. But if that is not an option, if RoboFlow has to be installed on the same on the file server or on a server where the mount point is different, you can solve this using the server console. In the server console you can define in FileSharing-info a different path. If you have a look here in file sharing, you see that I created a volume path called volumes RAID traffic. This is the way you see it on the RoboFlow server. And then we are telling him to translate that into the way it is seen on the client. In the client it is seen as a volume called traffic. Behind the scenes for that client computer it's /volumes/traffic, but the volume name is traffic. Actually on this local computer, on the Cumulus server, this is not the case. Here it is called RAID. The server here is called, the volume is called RAID, but on the client it's called traffic. So to make it possible, we that you can do show location and you can drag and drop into InDesign, etc., etc. On the client computer, we can cheat, we can tell RoboFlow to look at it this way. Very important not to forget is that this file is stored by Cumulus server in the RoboFlow folder. However, the Cumulus server folder. However, the Cumulus server folder does not tell RoboFlow to use this special path translation. So you have to go into your Cumulus server folder after you've changed it in the server console, and you will see that you now have a file called FileSharing-info. You have to copy this particular file and copy this file to the RoboFlow folder where you also have this file. So if we have a look here, we can see that we are here on Canto RoboFlow etc. So RoboFlow itself also has an etc folder, and you have to copy that file sharing info file there. Then and only then it will work. And it will only work if you recatalog with RoboFlow your files. In that case, it will update the asset reference, and you will see that in the asset reference he will have, on the macOS path, he will say volume name traffic and then the subfolders. The Unix path, he will put the way he sees this on the RoboFlow server: volumes, rate, traffic. That also means that if you now do show location on the RoboFlow server in the Cumulus client, it will not work. You will not see it. But that doesn't matter. Usually you don't work with the client on the server. The most important part is that the thing is that we solve here is that the client computer can do drag and drop into InDesign from Cumulus. He can do show location from Cumulus. He can delete files using Cumulus. All these things are not possible if the mount point is different between the RoboFlow server and the client computers where you could use your Cumulus client. If your mount point is different, he cannot see the file from the client unless you do this little trick with the file sharing info. So that was it. This was an example how to change the mount point or the view for a Cumulus client to a certain file by changing file sharing info, which changes the asset reference.